Hey everyone, Julie and Marc here from RV Love, and we have been blown away by the response and the comments and the feedback to our most recent video announcing our new to us coach, our 1999 Country Coach CC. Shocked a lot of you, and there have been a lot of questions, and that's what we're here to answer today, so
stay tuned. Welcome back, everybody. First of all, I just want to say thank you to so many people who had such amazing and positive messages on our last video. It was so exciting, a little bit surprising for us as well.
Very surprising.
To just see such an overwhelmingly positive response to our new motorhome, new to us motorhome, I should say. And an apology that it's been so many weeks since we've been able to put up a video. We've had a really busy time in the last month or so.
Yeah, we've actually got quite a few comments from people checking in to say, where are you guys? We are here right now in Eastern Oregon. It's a beautiful part of the country, actually. We'd never been here before. We're on the property of some friends of ours that we met about a bit over a year ago at an RV park. Hit it off with these guys, Brett and Danelle Hayes. You're going to be seeing a bit more of them in some upcoming videos, but they've been asking us to come and stay on their property, and here we are. You can see behind, this is our rig CC. Just over here is their rig, their Holiday Rambler, and you can see this amazing old mill in the background, and that is an old mill from the industrial area here in Eastern Oregon. Was it a wood mill? What was the mill for?
I think it was wood, yeah.
Wood mill. Lumber is big around here. So very lovely location. You're going to be seeing quite a few videos from this location in the coming months because we've been here quite a while. We've been here since 12th of July. At the time of filming this video now, it's September 3rd. So this is one of the longest stints we've had in one spot since we hit the road as full-time RVers in 2014. And I have to say, the break has been welcome.
Very much so.
Just to get you guys in the picture, a little bit of why we are having a bit of a content lag here is many of you know we filmed the RV Nomads movie recently. We had 2 different production shoots in Wellington, Texas, and in Salida, Colorado. So many of you have been wondering where we are. And just to let you know that sometimes it is actually easier for us to post updates on what's going on with us on Instagram and Facebook. It's just quick and easy to do posts, whereas putting up a YouTube video and a blog post is quite a lot more time and work. And so if you don't see us here on YouTube, just jump over to Instagram or Facebook and find us there, and you'll see that we are still alive and well.
But let's jump into some of the questions you guys have had.
Yes, so yeah, one of the questions here, where are you, which we just answered, and how is the new coach doing? New coach is doing great. We love it.
We love this coach. It's been running really well. The livability, the floor plan have been fantastic for us. You know, like any coach, it's going to have a few quirks, whether it's brand new or 20 years old like ours. You're always going to have a few quirks, but it's been kind of fun because Julie and I joke about it's a lot easier to laugh about the little quirks when you paid so little for the coach when compared to paying a whole lot of money, putting your life savings into something and having a lot of quirks.
Yeah, so sometimes the steps won't go in or out. It's a little bit temperamental. It's been good lately, but then other days it's not.
But bottom line, we've been loving the coach and we've been super happy with our decision.
Definitely. Which brings us to the next question. Why did you choose to buy an older coach? One thing that we really noticed in the feedback on our video about a tour and announcement of CC is just how many of you were so excited that we had made the decision to go with an older coach. I know a lot of you were shocked by that decision. To be honest, we were even shocked, but sometimes when you just see the right one, you just go for it. And we knew we really had nothing to lose with buying CC. We bought her at such a great price, and it just fit the bill of everything that we were looking for.
Really, it came down to the fact that we had specific criteria we were looking for in a motorhome, and we were looking at a lot of different age brackets from 3 years old to 10 years old. Not as much in this age bracket, but we were mostly looking for criteria and making sure that our next motorhome met all of our must-haves, all the things that were most important to us in our next motorhome. And when we came across this coach and it had everything we were looking for, and the quality and the floor plan and all of our must-have lists at a fraction of the price of a lot of the other motorhomes we were looking at, it really just became a very simple decision to go for it.
Yeah, it was a no-brainer because we knew by spending much less on the coach, we would have more money left over for expected repairs and maintenance. We knew that we'd have to spend some on some upgrades like batteries and tires and a few other things, but also just a remodel and making it our own. Like Mike said, we weren't actually looking at all for coaches in this era. We're looking up to maybe around about the 10, 11 year mark.
For the most part.
Old, yeah.
But having a coach from this era just left a really blank slate and a really great platform to do a larger scale renovation to make it truly our own, because we're in this for a long haul. We wanted a home that would really be representative of us.
You know, there are some beautiful newer coaches out there, and if money wasn't an object, maybe we'd be driving one, but I think for most of us, money is an object, and these things are depreciating assets. They're just worth less and less every year. That's on top of all of your payments and your maintenance, all that kind of a thing. And we just didn't want to go too deep into the financial hole when we're still working and saving toward our financial future and freedom and retirement. And so, yeah, we wanted to be savvy about it. And really, it's about risk management. You know, with the amount that we have invested in CC, it really was, this is kind of a no-risk situation for us, no matter what happens in life or with the economy, or if life circumstances change and we need to hang up the keys sooner than we might hope, just unexpectedly, we're not going to be on the hook for a really large sum of money that will under a coach upside down with a big payment or something that we can't sell. So it was really, as Mike said, met all of our criteria, was financially very, very doable, and we're really excited about our makeover that's coming up. So yeah, just ticked all the boxes. What size gas tank?
CC has a 110 gallon tank.
Which is quite nice to have that much larger compared to what was our...
Yeah, our old coach had 75 gallon fuel tank, and we were averaging close to 6.5 miles per gallon with the old coach, and we averaged closer to 9 miles per gallon with the new coach. So our range has increased dramatically. In fact, we can go twice as far between fill-ups as we used to. It's been absolutely amazing.
Because the fuel tank itself is 1/3 larger, and the fuel economy is a good 1/3 higher, more improved. So yeah, so that's been really great. So we had a couple of people ask, did we have a mechanic look at the coach before we bought it? One person asked specifically if that was needed if you're buying from a dealer, which is what we did. But you know, I think whether you buy from a dealer or private party, when you're buying a used coach, getting an inspection is a really good idea.
Yes, we did have it professionally inspected before purchase, and we do plan on having a video about that coming up fairly soon. Yeah,
that'll probably be the next one. So we'll share more about that. But did have the inspection, and she checked enough boxes for her to decide to still go ahead with the purchase, obviously. Right, so another question was, do we visit national parks and will we be able to take this coach in? Because this motorhome is 40 feet long. And so to answer that question, yes, we do visit national parks, but not as often with the RV as a lot of you might think. I think it's probably been less than 2 months in total.
Yeah.
Probably more like 6 weeks in total. And we've had 2 weeks at Zion. And
yeah, we don't spend a lot of nights in the park. We visit a lot of national parks, and we have really enjoyed that, loved that. But getting reservations in national parks is actually really difficult, not just because of the size of your RV, but just in general. And we just like camping in a lot of other places, but love to visit the national parks. And so we often park near them and then drive in with our tow vehicle.
Right. One of our big challenges with national parks is not only getting reservations, but also no cell coverage. So unless we're taking time off work and we don't need to be connected, that is actually one of the bigger challenges for us camping inside national parks. Because remember, we're not vacationing, we are living and working in our RV as we travel. But to get back to the original question, there are still quite a good number of national parks that do allow larger size RVs. Obviously, the larger you go, the more limiting it gets. But it was not enough of a factor to deter us from buying a 40-foot coach.
No, because it just depends. We don't want to make a decision on something that we spend a small percentage of our time that would impact the large percentage of our time. So if we spend only a couple weeks a year in a national park, but 50 weeks a year in other camping arrangements, then we should buy an RV that is appropriate for the 50 weeks, not the 2, in my opinion.
So on that note, we were asked about the age of CC, being 19 years old. Some campgrounds and RV parks do have usually a 10-year rule, that if your rig is older than 10 years, you're not allowed in. And is that going to be an issue?
You know, we've only encountered that probably 3 or 4 times in 4 years.
But definitely some RV parks and campgrounds out there that have an age restriction. We weren't affected by that because our Tiffin was a 2012 and wasn't disqualified. But now CC definitely is, and yes, it was a factor around a decision making, as was the size for the reasons we just mentioned. And again, not enough of a risk or a deterrent to prevent us from going ahead with the purchase anyway. There are literally thousands of campgrounds out there around the USA and in Canada. And while yes, the newer and the smaller your rig, the easier it is going to be to get in anywhere. Yeah. But we have still so many options available to us. As many of you know, we spend a lot of time in Thousand Trails campgrounds. We've never come across the age restriction. Now, some of the Encore properties as part of the Trails collection, which is part of the Thousand Trails membership add-on, some of those do have an age restriction. Very few, but some do. But again, we mentioned that we're planning on doing more boondocking, more dry camping. And so the National Forest doesn't care how old your rig is.
No, that doesn't matter in those situations at all.
Exactly. I think the thing to keep in mind here is that every decision you make, every RV that you're considering to purchase, everything has its pros and cons. Everything has a trade-off. And what you need to do is work out what is most important to you and what is most important to other people, or what you see many of us out here doing that you're watching on YouTube or reading about in blogs. Doesn't necessarily mean that's going to be right for you. I mean, we've met people that, you know, thought they wanted and needed the great big 45-foot motorhome because they were downsizing from a family home, and I think that's a very understandable thought process, because it's still so much smaller, but then after a period of time they realize they don't need something that big. Or we have people that are very happy in 45-footers and don't, you know, they're willing to trade off the handful of parks that they can't stay in because they like the livability of their RV and that floor plan.
Yeah, it just really comes down to asking yourself important questions about how you want to travel and making your RV decisions based on those factors.
Yeah, which is what we did.
Yeah.
Okay, what else we got here? So we mentioned in our last video, we referred to the coach as CC, and a few people have asked, what are we going to call it, and are we calling it CC? And yes, this is officially the name of our motorhome. We started out where we were first just buying it and going through the process and moving into it. We didn't kind of know what to call it, to the new coach or the old coach, or moving from the Tiffin to the country coach. So we just started nicknaming it CC as an abbreviation, and it kind of stuck. And it's got a CC on the steering wheel, which looks kind of cool. And I am a huge Elvis fan, and well, I love that song. CC Rider, oh see what you have done. I said CC Rider, oh see what you have done. Well, you made me love you.
As soon as I said Cece, then all of a sudden she started singing and belting out this Elvis tune.
See? Cece has her own theme song.
Had some other fun ideas from people in the audience that had mentioned pronouncing it S-E-E, S-E-E, as in seeing everything. You can go see this and see that. Or
that was really fun.
S-E-A, S-E-A, as you're going to travel from sea to shining sea. It's kind of fun to have those additional
clever
meanings, yeah. But we are actually just using the initials and of the letter C.
So she shall see. So she's. Can't say.
So we're going to see everything we can see on traveling sea to shining sea in our CC.
Right, that's right. So CC it is. What is the situation with electrical outlets?
Let me think about it. I think there's probably around 8. I think there's 8.
In the whole coach?
Yeah, there's 8, maybe 10, but I think there's 8 actual outlets, and they're all powered to the inverter.
Oh, okay. That's cool. I never went around and counted them up, but then there's 8 visible. I think there are a couple more in behind some cabinets that you won't necessarily see. And one of the things that I have already found has been really useful is there's a power outlet, an electrical outlet at the front in between the driver and passenger seat, which the Tiffin did not have, and I'm really liking that for charging devices while we're driving. But in the kitchen there's just one double electrical outlet, and I don't really like where it's situated. It is central, but it is a little annoying, so I think that's one thing we're going to want to change. I would like an additional outlet in the kitchen if we can find a way. Right, and what else here? Somebody asked how much we paid for CC. Well, let's just say that she was initially advertised on the lot for $49,999, and then she was reduced, and then there was an internet special, and then we went in and negotiated our tails off and walked away with a really good deal. And to find out the details, you're going to have to go over to the blog. I'm going to put the link down below, but I give you a hint. We paid less for Cece than we paid for the Jeep. I think that's really fun.
Yeah.
It's really fun to say that we had to negotiate really hard for that.
Yeah, we bought our house for less than our car.
I know. I just think that's a really cool story because you know why? Because it shows that you don't have to have a ton of money to go and live and enjoy the RV lifestyle. And I think that's one of the messages that I really want to get across here is that you don't have to spend 100 or 200 or 300,000 or more to be able to live this RV lifestyle. We've done it with a much more expensive coach, and now we're doing it with a much less expensive coach. But by the time we're done with it, she's going to look $1 million without having to pay for $1 million.
Amen to that.
So quite a few of you were surprised that we went up in size. We upsized instead of downsized. We kind of didn't quite supersize, but we upsized.
Yeah, a lot of people have been going down in size, it seems, but that's, just because everyone else is doing it doesn't mean it's the right fit for us. As Julie mentioned earlier, we live and work in our motorhome year round, and we need to have space to be able to do those things and to have them as separate spaces. We really like having our workspace separate from the dining, and when you start trying to need separate spaces for things, it's hard to do on a really small coach.
And I think we also really like entertaining when we're catching up with friends or family, and like being able to have people inside year round, and that just gives us the space to do that. As you would have seen from the tour, it's a single slide coach, but we went from 4 slides to 1. Surprisingly, we have not really felt a loss of space, except I will say in the bedroom. The living area feels just as spacious, if not more so, than the Tiffin. I think it's the way they've laid it out, really, and the light and brightness of it. In the bedroom, I definitely have noticed that at the foot of the bed, between the bed and the closet, it's a little narrow. I would have liked probably another 6 inches of space there, but that would probably be the only thing that I can think of that I wish was different about our coach. Is just having that little bit extra space in the bedroom. Yeah.
But with not having the slides in the bedroom, it's also not drafty at all, and it's nice and cozy. That's one thing I've noticed so far for sure is the better insulation and the better windows. And it's definitely much better holding its temperature, hot or cold.
I love the big windows, 2 big windows in the bedroom. We had 1 window behind the bed in the Tiffin, which was actually the emergency exit. And because it was behind the bed, we always had the shade down, and it just meant that it was always closed up, so it was quite dark in there. So it feels a lot lighter and brighter in there now. And overall, people were really excited about the light and brightness. Jury's out on the mirrors. I think most people thought the mirrors had to go. There were actually quite a number of people that still liked the mirrors and thought we should keep them, but there are just way too many mirrors.
Way too many. When you live with it, and it's
Vegas.
Just constantly around you, and you feel the just bouncing around, and it actually seems to add clutter as well.
I'm not excited about all the mirrors. So it's been really great just having quite a few months to get used to living in CC as she is, and seeing what works, what doesn't, what we like, what we don't, so that we have a really clear idea now on what we're going to be doing in our remodel, which we're very excited about. And I think that's one thing that we were so surprised and excited about, is how many of you were not only supportive and positive about our decision, but that you're excited to see what we do with it. We
have some big plans, and I'm just so excited to see that you were so excited. Going through the comments, I would estimate that more than 50% of the people had made a comment about how excited they were to see what we do with it, and that was exciting to me, so I'm excited to share it.
Video coming up soon about our first boondocking trip with Cece, where we get to put her to the test and see how she performs out in boondocking conditions out in national forest land. So there's some really cool stuff coming your way pretty soon, but we hope that you enjoyed this video. We're really, really so thankful to you for all of your positive support and comments about our CC. I mean, we really didn't know what to expect, but it was definitely overwhelmingly positive. So thank you for that. Hang around for the rest of the journey. We've got lots more to come. Any more questions and comments, please put them down below. Give the video a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so, and click the bell to get notifications of all new videos as they came up. And don't forget to jump over to rvlove.com and the blog. That's where we share a lot more information as well. So that's about it, I think, for today's video.
That's about it,
That's about it. Okay. So thanks for your patience and hanging in there. And hope you guys all had a fantastic summer and a fantastic Labor Day weekend. And until next time, See you on the road.